There is a shared secret among the social circles of the Northeast. If you see a woman with a license plate 8888, do not provoke her. Su Wanqing drives a Xiaomi car with that exact plate. Rumor has it she loves her husband like life itself, but she enjoys seeking excitement elsewhere. On a whim, she played a high-stakes game and kept 99 men outside, but there was one ironclad rule. No one was allowed to cause a scene in front of her husband. Everyone knew that the man who had accompanied her for 7 years was her weakness. The 100th man was very disobedient. Banking on her favor, he sent me a hotel invoice with Su Wanqing's name on it. Immediately after, a voice message came through. "Hubby, don't leave. I want to conceive our baby." I recognized it as Su Wanqing's voice. Just as I was about to question her, he sent another provocative message. "Do you know how obsessed the queen is with me? Every year on your birthday and your anniversary, she comes to be with me after you fall asleep. You are nothing but a third party in our relationship." Looking at these provocative texts, my heart was as still as water. At that moment, I suddenly felt a sense of release. After leaving the hospital, I went to find Song Hao and asked him to forge a plane crash. Because I knew Su Wanqing, she would never agree to a divorce, let alone let me leave. She would only go completely mad. After returning from Song Hao's place, I received another video from Chu Yunjo. The video was 2.5 hours long. In the video, Chu Yunjo was wearing a cat ear bondage outfit with various toys on the table, in the kitchen, on the desk, and in the entryway. The two of them were intimate in every corner of the room. The Su Wanqing in the video was a version I had never seen before. Every scene made my heart twist with agony, yet like a masochist. I watched the entire video. Actually, I had known for a long time that Su Wanqing was cheating, but I still couldn't let go of my love for her. To cut her out of my life felt like ripping open my chest and tearing out my bloody heart. I sat blankly for a long time until my senses returned. Looking at the empty house, I don't know how much time passed before waves of sharp pain radiated from my abdomen. The pain made my vision go black, and I almost lost consciousness. I crawled with difficulty to the living room. My first thought wasn't to call 120, but to call Su Wanqing. The phone rang several times before it was picked up. At that moment, I was almost fainting from pain and didn't even have the strength to speak. "Where are you now?" I wanted to say I felt terrible and wanted her to come back quickly, but before I could finish, Su Wanqing interrupted me. Her voice was charming and seductive. "Hubby, there's something very important at the company. Tonight." Her speed suddenly quickened. "I won't be coming back tonight." The call was hung up, and I completely lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I was in the hospital. Song Hao was guarding the bedside, his eyes red. "You scared me to death. Do you know you almost died?" Song Hao was originally going to call me to say the fake death. Escape was arranged, but he couldn't get through. Worried something had happened, he came over and found me collapsed on the floor. The doctor said I had severe pancreatitis. When I was brought in, part of my pancreas had already dissolved. Any later, and even a god couldn't have saved me. The surgery requires a family signature. But your wife couldn't be reached no matter what. Somehow asked if he should call her again. I stared blankly at the wall and suddenly laughed out loud. No need to contact her anymore. Never again. In the morning, I forced myself to be discharged. It wasn't until noon that Su Wanqing returned to my side. Leaning on me, she opened her tablet and pointed to an island. "Hubby, look at this island. I just bought it for you. Also, I've started construction on amusement parks in cities across the country. In the future, they'll be named after our child. When the child is born," she finished excitedly before realizing that since she entered the door, I hadn't said a word. My face was very pale, and beads of sweat stood on my forehead. "What's wrong, hubby? Are you uncomfortable? I'll take you to the hospital right now." Seeing me looking so ill, she panicked so much her voice shook. At that moment, looking at my pale face, her heartache seemed as if someone had gripped it tight. "I'm fine." I pulled my wrist back. "You know my stomach has always been bad. I just ate something cold yesterday and feel a bit off. There's medicine on the table, help me get it." Su Wanqing immediately ran to get the medicine and brought warm water. Watching me take it, she hesitated. "Hubby, why is this different from the stomach medicine you usually take?" I brushed it off casually. New medicine from the doctor. Su Wanqing didn't ask further. "I'll stay home with you all day today. What do you want for lunch?" I'll make it. No need. I'm going to a class reunion at noon and visiting some mentors in the evening. Go on with your business. I stood up. This time, after leaving the country, I likely wouldn't return. Meeting friends one last time was a way to say goodbye. Su Wanqing wasn't comfortable letting me go out alone and insisted on following. As soon as we entered the reunion suite, everyone burst into laughter. I said if Lu Jingxin came today, Su Wanqing would definitely follow. Su Wanqing smiled, accepting the teasing, and personally handed out prepared gifts to everyone. The crowd marveled. Oh my god, these are the latest Patek Philippe watches. They cost 7 figures. CEO Su sends such expensive gifts every time. We're all benefiting from Lu Jingxin. I had a good reputation in college, and everyone present was a good friend. Su Wanqing was willing to put in the effort to please them, because if they were happy, I would be happy. Everyone secretly marveled at the power of love, that it could turn a cold flower like Su Wanqing into a smiling sunflower. Jingxin, I really envy you. To have a wife who loves you so much. Hearing these words, I didn't show a happy smile like before, but just smiled politely. While the room was full of laughter, the door was suddenly pushed open. Chu Yunjo appeared before everyone in high spirits. A class reunion and no one notified me? Aren't we from the same class? Because of Chu Yunjo's appearance, the atmosphere turned heavy. Yet he acted as if he didn't notice the unwelcome vibe and sat across from me, glancing at the gifts. Patek Philippe, a very famous brand. But everyone seems not to know yet, this is the brand I founded. Everyone felt uneasy. His family had been driven to bankruptcy by Su Wanqing years ago and couldn't survive anywhere in the country. How could he start such a luxury brand? Quote, my family encountered some accidents back then, but later I met my wife. 2 years ago, she threw in tens of billions and used her connections to help me open the company. And it's not just this one. She opened 26 for me. As he spoke, Chu Yunjo's gaze flickered over Su Wanqing, and he smiled provocatively at me. My breath hitched. I remembered a period 2 years ago when Su Wanqing was particularly busy. At that time, she said the company was expanding into overseas markets, but it turned out she was busy opening companies for Chu Yunjo. A surge of sharp pain spread from my heart, and even my surgical incision began to ache. I couldn't help but clutch my stomach. What's wrong, hubby? Where does it hurt? Su Wanqing immediately stood up nervously. I'll call a doctor, Chu Yunjo sneered. Lu Jingxin, I say, how can a grown man be so pretentious, always looking half dead? As soon as he finished, Su Wanqing's face darkened, and she slapped him hard. Shut up or get out! I'll make sure you never speak again. Chu Yunjo raised his hand to his cheek, lightly sniffed his palm, and smiled. All right, I'm going. Don't get angry. Once he left, the atmosphere in the room brightened again, but my face remained pale. Su Wanqing gripped my hand worriedly. Hubby, where exactly does it hurt? The doctor arrived quickly. I pushed her away. I'm fine. I need to go to the restroom. Don't follow me. As soon as I stepped into the hallway, I was blocked by Chu Yunjo. He sneered. Don't think that just because Wanqing hit me for you, you're important in her heart. She and I already have a son and a daughter. Although they were via surrogate, they are our bloodline. Her heart is already leaning toward me. Do you believe that if I just say the 2 kids have a fever, she will come to me? When I returned to the room, Su Wanqing's expression was indeed extremely anxious. She came over and kissed my cheek. Hubby, I have an urgent matter at the company. I've spoken to the manager. All expenses are on my tab. Have fun with your friends. I grabbed her hand. Didn't you say you'd stay with me today? Please stay, okay? Looking into my calm eyes, for some reason, a surge of panic rose in Su Wanqing's heart. She felt that if she left today, she would lose something very important. But Chu Yunjo said the children were sick. They were her flesh and blood, and she had to go see them. In the end, she pried my fingers away one by one. Hubby, I'll definitely come back to be with you tonight, okay? I took a deep breath. So Su Wanqing's heart really had shifted. Half an hour later, Chu Yunjo sent me a video. Knowing what would be inside, my hand still trembled as I clicked it. In the video, Chu Yunjo was hugging Su Wanqing. I feel like I can't live if I don't see you for a moment. I missed you so much I went to the reunion. But seeing you and Lu Jingxin so affectionate made me so jealous, I went crazy. That's why I said those bitter words, and you actually hit me for him? And you're pregnant. How can you get angry for his sake? Su Wanqing smiled faintly. It was clear she enjoyed this. She took a warm egg to compress his swollen face. Fine, who told you to provoke Jingshen in public? But I did hit too hard today. You can ask for anything as compensation. Then, the children's birthday is coming up. I want that island you just bought as their gift. Su Wanqing frowned. No, that's for the child Jingshen and I will have. How is it his child? We were together often during the month you got pregnant. Su Wanqing frowned. Don't talk nonsense. This is definitely Jingshen's. Only if it's his am I willing to carry it myself. Chu Yunjo's face turned cold. Then he smiled again. I consulted a master. That island's fate matches our children's perfectly. It will bring them luck. You promised to compensate me. Please, my queen. This time, Su Wanqing agreed. Chu Yunjo looked at the camera with a provocative smile and sent another voice message. See, even things promised to you. As long as I ask, she will still give them to me. You lost. I sat frozen in place, holding my phone. I remembered when I was injured, working a part-time job. Su Wanqing used an egg to soothe my pain, just like that. It turned out that the things she did for me, she would do for other men too. At this moment I felt exhausted. But as long as I left Su Wanqing, everything would be fine. I could leave tomorrow. In the afternoon, I visited my mentor. Before parting, the old man took me to a nearby Buddhist temple, saying it was very effective and he wanted to get a peace talisman for me. Upon arriving, a monk I had never met called out my name. Are you wondering how I know you? The monk smiled. A year ago, a female donor named Su Wanqing donated 80 million to our temple. She also bowed every 3 steps from the foot of the mountain to the temple to pray for a peace talisman for you. However, she didn't take it then. She left it here for us to chant over and consecrate. My mentor was very happy. Seeing you two so affectionate, I can rest easy. I lowered my eyes. The attachment to past warmth and the pain of betrayal mixed together, shaking my hard-won composure. Today is a fated meeting. Since you are here, take the peace talisman with you. As I turned to leave, the monk stopped me. Wait, donor. Donor Su also prayed for 3 other talismans. Take them back together. I took them, but when I saw the names on them, I almost wanted to laugh. Written there were the names of Chu Yunjo and the twins. When Su Wanqing returned that night, she found I had already gone to sleep alone. For many years, they were used to waiting for each other, sleeping only when they could embrace. This was the first time I hadn't waited for her. Unease surfaced in Su Wanqing's heart. She hugged me, burying herself in my arms. I missed you so much, hubby. Even though it's only been a few hours, it feels like years. If one day you aren't by my side, I definitely won't be able to go on. Really, I murmured softly. Oh right, hubby, I have something to discuss. About that island. I had a master look at the feng shui, and it's not very good. How about I buy 2 other ones instead? I closed my eyes. As you wish. Sensing the coldness and impatience in my tone, Su Wanqing became even more anxious. She asked cautiously, Hubby, did I do something to make you angry? No, I'm just tired. I took a deep breath. Our wedding anniversary is in a few days. Tomorrow afternoon, I want to take the private jet abroad. I ordered a gift and want to pick it up personally. You're still sick. A trip takes 15 hours. It's too exhausting. How about I go? I smiled faintly. An anniversary gift must be picked up personally, of course. Hearing this, Su Wanqing's heart melted. Okay, everything as you say. The next morning, Su Wanqing made breakfast and left, saying there was work at the company. After she left, I began packing. I opened the closet, took out all the clothes I had handmade for her, and cut them into shreds before throwing them in the trash. All the expensive gifts she gave me were distributed to the household servants. The 16 photo albums we had collected over 3 years, which we promised to look at together when we were old, were all thrown into the fireplace. Su Wanqing, who had forgotten an important document, returned to see the burning photos in the flames. With a roar in her mind, she disregarded everything and reached into the fire to save the last half-burnt book. Hubby, her voice trembled as she looked at me. Why burn these? I smiled. Nothing, I just thought the photos were ugly and didn't want to keep them. I walked over and took her burned hand. Our days ahead are long, we can just take more. Why reach in? Look at how you've hurt your hand, let's call a doctor. Seeing the worry in my eyes, Su Wanqing's panic gradually subsided. She began to act spoiled. Hubby, blow on it for me and it won't hurt. If her subordinate saw her now, They would think their cold CEO was possessed. You're a grown-up, have some shame. I walked over, blocking the shredded clothes in the trash. After taking the document, King stood on tiptoe and kissed my forehead. I'm going to the office. I'll be back at noon. Shortly after she left, Chu Yunjo sent me another message. The Intercontinental Hotel. Your wife is here. I've got a good show for you today. I remained silent. So every time she said she was going to the office, she was going to find him. Knowing that seeing it would break me, I went anyway. It turned out today was the twins' birthday. Su Wenqing, her parents, and her friends were all gathered to celebrate. They held a ceremony in the hotel. The staff referred to Chu Yunjo as CEO Su's husband, and Su Wenqing didn't refute it, instead sharing a tender look with him. Her parents showed smiles to him that I had never seen, behind a pillar outside the hall. I heard Su Wenqing chatting with her cousin, Shen Rushuang. Cousin, do you really plan to live like this forever? Shen Rushuang frowned. Paper can't wrap fire. No matter how well you hide it, Jingshen will find out one day. Su Wenqing laughed. I love Jingshen, but Yunjo is the father of my children. I can't leave him either. Living like this is fine, and if you can't hide it, what then? Shen Rushuang grumbled. You're unfaithful to your marriage. It's too unfair to Jingshen. That day won't come. Haven't we lived like this for 2 years? Su Wenqing was still confident. I know I owe Jingshen. I'll double my kindness to compensate him. Shen Rushuang rolled her eyes. Can love be compensated with material things? For the sake of our sisterhood, let me warn you. Auntie is returning to the country soon. She's so old-fashioned and hates people who mess around. Hide your minor, well, if Auntie finds out, she'll definitely expose you. At that moment, I only felt disgust. I stumbled out of the hotel, but the mental blows of recent days took their toll. My vision went black, and I collapsed. When I woke up, I was in a strange room. On the sofa by the bed sat a woman in a high-end suit dress, wearing rimless glasses. She was flipping through a thick stack of documents. Though expressionless, her beautiful face radiated a sense of pressure. I sat up, stunned for a few seconds, before recognizing her as Su Wenqing's aunt, Jiyu Yiren. She lived abroad for business, and I had only seen her a few times. I knew Su Wenqing was afraid of this aunt, who was 3 years her senior. When they were kids, Su's parents couldn't bear to hit her, so Jiyu Yiren did the disciplining. Su Wenqing described her as rigid and serious, someone who did everything by the book. You're awake? Jiyu Yiren closed the file. The doctor said you just had surgery and haven't recovered. You fainted because of extreme emotional distress. She walked slowly toward me. Su Wenqing doesn't know about your surgery, right? Otherwise, she wouldn't let you faint on the roadside alone. After a long silence, I said, thank you for today, but please, don't tell her. Seeing that Jiyu Yiren didn't seem to agree, I pleaded in a low voice. Please. Jiyu Yiren was stunned. Clearly there was a problem with the couple. Logically, she should tell Su Wenqing, but for some reason, her heart softened, and she agreed to keep it a secret. She had someone send me home. Shortly after, Su Wenqing returned. She took out a new watch. The custom watch is here. Hubby, see if you like it. I glanced at it. It was the exact same style she gave Chu Yunjo today. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. All along, it was a buy one, get one free cheap sentiment. No need. I want to go to the little tree hole. Many precious memories were left there. It was 12 p.m. At 3 p.m., I would leave here forever. One last look would be my final farewell. Su Wenqing froze, her face looking panicked. Because Chu Yunjo had insisted on staying there, she had given him the keys. He had taken the kids there to play today? Quote, okay, let's go after lunch. She ducked into the kitchen to secretly message Chu Yunjo to leave immediately. At 1 p.m., we arrived at the manor. As soon as I walked in, I sensed something was wrong. It was obvious someone else had been living there. I pretended not to notice and went straight upstairs. In the bedroom, there were still several photo albums of Su Wenqing and me. Leaving them here made me feel sick. But the moment I opened one, I froze. The albums were filled with Su Wenqing, Chu Yunjo, and the twins, the 4 of them in lavender fields, under the Eiffel Tower, in a hot air balloon. These were all places Su Wenqing had gone with me. Every location held deep, engraved memories. Seeing my face turn pale, Su Wanqing walked over. "What's wrong, hubby?" I snapped the album shut and smiled. "Nothing. I want to go home." As I turned to go downstairs, Su Wanqing's phone buzzed. Her face turned frantic. "Hubby, I need to use the restroom. Go down and wait for me, okay?" I nodded and left. But a few minutes later, I doubled back. Outside the bathroom door, I heard Su Wanqing's anxious voice. "Didn't I tell you to take the kids and leave? Why are you still here? Doesn't sister want to play something exciting?" Chu Yunjo laughed. "We did it on your wedding bed in front of your wedding photo before, but now that he's downstairs, doesn't this feel even better?" Even more unspeakable sounds came through. I stood outside the door, my heart completely still. I gave a soft laugh and quietly walked downstairs. I came from the mountains. My mother was a victim of human trafficking, and my father was a drunkard who abused us. At 13, I ran away. The first thing I did was send my father to prison. He cursed me, saying I'd die a horrible death. My mother, though free because of me, didn't thank me because I was evidence of her shame, a festering scar in her life. Growing up in such a twisted family, I learned to build high walls and keep everyone at a distance. But at 18, Su Wanqing crashed into my life. She was like an unquenchable flame, melting the ice in my heart and soothing my past pain. She gave me countless amounts of love and taught me how to love again. Yet it was also her who, at my happiest moment, gave me the deepest, most painful wound. This scar would never heal. Minutes later, Su Wanqing walked out of the manor. I looked at her in silence for a while, then raised my hand to show her the braided bracelet on my wrist. "You made this for me by hand. But today, I noticed it's fading. Wanqing, do you think your love for me will fade?" "How could it?" Su Wanqing's expression was sincere. "My love for you only grows more every day." I gave an ambiguous laugh. I originally wanted to leave quietly, but now I've changed my mind. I want to get revenge for her two-faced nature and for making a fool of me for 2 whole years. I hugged her. "Wanqing, I love you too. So you must wait for me to come back and celebrate our 3rd anniversary together." "Oh, right." I took out a document bag and placed it seriously in her hands. "This is a gift for you. You can only open it in 2 days. Inside were screenshots of the videos Chu Yunjo sent me. When the news of my plane crash arrived this afternoon, she would surely open this. She would know that her cheating drove me to despair and killed her beloved husband. I want her to spend every future day in agony and regret. Okay, I'll wait for you to come back." Su Wanqing's eyes were bright with anticipation. "Hubby, let me take you to the airport now." I shook my head. "No need. I know you're a busy person. Someone will be looking for you soon." Su Wanqing flinched. Was it her imagination? Why did her husband's words sound so mocking? Unease flooded her heart. The next moment, her phone rang. A message from Chu Yunjo. "Sister, you didn't finish just now, right? Come back and continue after you send your husband away, okay?" Actually, the first time she had sex with Chu Yunjo was after her parents got her drunk. At that time, she felt dirty and wanted to kill herself. But Chu Yunjo knelt on the ground, begging without dignity. "Even though you ruined my family, I still love you. Wanqing, I'll die without you. I'll do anything to make you happy." To please her, he truly had no bottom line. Finally, he put on my clothes and said, "You can treat me as Lu Jingshen. Anything you can't bear to do to him, you can do to me." At that moment, the flame in Su Wanqing's heart was lit. She had many fantasies about me. She wanted to whip me, hear me beg for mercy, and see me crawling at her feet. But as for Chu Yunjo, he didn't have to worry about so many inhibitions. All his fantasies could be realized through him. Quote, "Then I won't take you to the airport. Be careful on the road." Before leaving, I took one last look at her, but all I saw was her back. I said goodbye in a low voice. "Goodbye, Su Wanqing. May we never meet again." A few hours later, while Su Wanqing was in the midst of intimacy with Chu Yunjo on the large bed at the manor, she received a call from her assistant. "You'd better have a damn good reason for this." Su Wanqing's voice carried the dissatisfaction of being interrupted. The assistant's voice was shaking. "CEO Su, we just received news. Sir, his plane crashed over the ocean just as it left domestic airspace." Su Wanqing's pupils constricted and her blood froze in an instant. "What did you say?" A few seconds later, Su Wanqing suddenly fell straight back, vomiting a large amount of blood. The blood stained a large portion of the sheets. Amid Chu Yunjo's terrified cries, she struggled to stand up, tumbling toward the garage. It was impossible for Lu Jingshen to have an accident. She had to find him herself. Upon getting into the car, she saw the document bag I had left for her still sitting on the passenger seat. Su Wanqing's internal organs twisted together in pain. She gasped for air, but the pain seeped into her blood with every breath. Omnipresent. Why did she agree to let me fly alone? Why didn't she arrange for several experienced pilots to follow me? Why? Because human energy is limited. Recently, she was busy preparing for the twins' birthday and was fooling around with Chu Yunjo every day. These fine details, of course, she had no mind to pay attention to. The search and rescue went on for 2 full days, covering hundreds of miles of nearby waters, but no trace of any living person was found. The search personnel weighed their words carefully to avoid triggering Su Wanqing, as the depth of her feelings for Lu Jingshen was well known. Miss Su, whenever a plane goes down over the ocean, there is almost no possibility of survivors. So Mr. Lu, he may have perished. Su Wanqing's tears flowed incessantly. At this moment, she was as limp as mud, unable to stand, relying entirely on the people around her for support. But hearing the word perished, her eyes suddenly turned blood red as she shouted, "You're full of crap? How dare you curse my husband? He's not dead. I won't allow you to say he's dead." The assistant finally managed to pull her away. Su Wanqing stood in place for a long time, then suddenly murmured, "Today is our wedding anniversary. He said he wanted me to wait for him to come back." She had prepared a grand celebration, but now the ceremony had turned into a funeral. She didn't stay at the crash site any longer, but went alone to the hall. Looking at the giant wedding photo in the center, her tears surged again. At the thought that while my plane was crashing, she was with Chu Yunjo, she wished she could kill her past self. "Jingshen, were you very scared then?" She lightly stroked my features in the photo. "I promised I wouldn't leave you alone, so wait for me. I'll go with you." She stuffed a whole bottle of sleeping pills into her mouth and lay down snuggled against the wedding photo. The medicine took effect quickly, but in the end, she didn't die. The hotel manager discovered her abnormality and called emergency services. However, the baby could not be saved. When she woke up, her parents were by her side, crying in pain. "How could you be so foolish? Did you think about your parents before doing something so stupid?" Su Wanqing's gaze was hollow. "Just act as if you never gave birth to such an unfilial daughter. Without Jingshen, I can't live on." Her parents fainted on the spot from crying. Ji Yu Yuran looked at her niece with a headache. 3 years ago, she had a falling out with the whole clan for Lu Jingshen, and now that Lu Jingshen was dead, she wanted to follow him in death. What magic did I have to enchant her like this? Just as she was about to offer advice, Su Wanqing suddenly grabbed her hand. "Auntie, there's a document bag on the passenger seat of the car I usually drive. Could you get it for me?" That was the gift Jingshen left for her before leaving. She had no hope of living, but before she died, she wanted to open this final gift. After instructing the caregiver to watch her closely, Ji Yu Yiran personally went to retrieve the document bag. When she returned, however, she saw a man and 2 children in the hospital room. He man's eyes were bloodshot. Even if you don't think of anything else, think of your own flesh and blood. Ji Yu Yiran frowned, her hand pushing the door, pausing. What was going on? To her knowledge, Su Wanqing and Lu Jingshen didn't have children. Where did this flesh and blood come from? Could it be that she cheated during the marriage? "If you die, I'll take these 2 children and die with you. In short, without you, my life has no meaning." In the hospital room, Su Wanqing seemed moved. She raised her hand to touch Chu Yunjo's face, sighing, "Why bother?" Ji Yu Yiran walked in with a cold face and threw the document bag at Su Wanqing. "Here's the thing you wanted." Su Wanqing opened the bag. As she took out the contents, Chu Yunjo was still holding her hand. "Wanqing, although Lu Jingshen didn't like me, I'm very sad that something happened to him. But those who are alive must continue living. Don't do anything stupid anymore. Let me accompany you from now on, okay?" He had endured for so long, finally waiting for the day of Lu Jingshen's death. From now on, Su Wanqing would belong to him alone. He was imagining a beautiful future life, suppressing a smile at the corners of his lips. But he didn't notice that Su Wanqing's face was becoming increasingly hideous. The next second, Su Wanqing threw the things in her hand at him, stood up with a livid face, and suddenly grabbed his neck. "I told you long ago. I can give you anything you want, but I strictly forbade Jingshen from knowing about this. But how dare you? How dare you leak this to Jingshen? How dare you provoke him time and again? I didn't. Chu Yunjo tried to argue, but his eyes caught the papers on the floor. They were screenshots of his chat logs with me. His pupils constricted. He originally thought that, with my pride, I would either divorce Su Wanqing directly or leave, without exposing these things. He didn't expect that I would leave this behind before dying. Su Wanqing's grip tightened. At this moment, she truly regretted why she hadn't killed this nuisance years ago. Just before she was about to choke Chu Yunjo to death, Ji Yiran pulled her away. Enough. Are you trying to commit murder? Chu Yunjo, who had survived, truly felt the terror of death. He looked at Su Wanqing in disbelief. I did so much for you, and you actually wanted to kill me? He admired Su Wanqing's wealth and power, but he also truly liked her as a person. But at this moment, all that love turned into hatred. Is it all my fault that things have come to this? If you hadn't cheated with me time and again, would I have had the chance to provoke Lu Jingshen? Now you want to push all the responsibility onto me? Dream on! I tell you, he might not have died in a plane crash. He might have been so heartbroken that he sought death himself, and the culprit who caused his suicide is you. Su Wanqing was frozen in place by these words. In the silence, all the abnormalities of the past few days flashed before her eyes. A thought also flashed through her mind. A moment later, she suddenly laughed out loud. Jingshen must not be dead. He must have hidden somewhere. She knew me well. I was as resilient as wild grass and would never commit suicide. I would only leave her and hide in a place where she could never find me. Because I also knew her well and knew she would never agree to a divorce. Immediately check who Jingshen contacted these past few days. I had been abroad for 3 months already. During this time, I always kept the curtains drawn tight, staring blankly in the room alone. I knew my low mood was because of Su Wanqing. Although she had been removed from my life, the past was so deeply etched that it had even become a habit. Sung Hao invited me out to eat. When I tasted a dish I liked, I would turn my head toward the empty seat. "Wife, this is delicious. Please replicate it when we get home." It gave both Sung Hao and myself a start. At night, I habitually reached out to embrace the person beside me, but all I felt was air. Then I would suffer from insomnia. Over the past few years, Su Wanqing had gently permeated every aspect of my life. I needed a little time to readjust to living alone, and to completely remove Su Wanqing from my existence. 3 months later, I had adapted to my new life. In college, I earned double degrees in software engineering and artificial intelligence. I loved programming because, in this binary world of ones and zeros, everything is certain. Once you master the rules, you can use certainty to create more uncertainty. I liked this sense of groundedness that I could hold on to. After graduation, I had always worked in this field and accumulated a considerable amount of experience. So recently, I have been trying to develop my own tech brand. About another 3 months later, the product development was complete. I found various factories to mass produce a batch at my own expense. After all the paperwork was approved, the product was launched into the market. I originally just wanted to test the waters, but the response was unexpectedly good. It not only attracted a large number of consumers, but also a group of investors who wanted to cooperate with me. I didn't want to show my face personally, because I was afraid people would recognize me and bring unnecessary trouble. I simply delegated all matters to Sung Hao. From among the many companies, Sung Hao chose the most generous and capable one. After both sides agreed on the contract online, they set out to sign it offline. It happened that their company's CEO was recently in this small town, so Sung Hao didn't have to travel back and forth and could just go directly to sign the contract. At the appointed time, Sung Hao walked into the agreed-upon place. The moment she saw Sung Hao, Ji Yiran was stunned. If she remembered correctly, this young man was named Sung Hao, a good friend of Lu Jingshen. According to Su Wanqing's investigation, the crashed plane was controlled remotely by someone, and Sung Hao was an expert at that. This meant Lu Jingshen had not had an accident. The one that fell was just an unmanned plane. Moreover, before my accident, I had only spoken to Sung Hao twice on the phone, so it was very likely Sung Hao helped me hide. So his appearance here, did it mean Lu Jingshen was also here? Sung Hao didn't know Ji Yiran and didn't realize he had been exposed. After he left, Ji Yiran called her assistant in. Go find out where he lives and who he lives with." As the assistant nodded to leave, Ji Yuran stopped him again. "Is that boy still not found?" When Ji Yuran was 9 years old, she was framed by an enemy, which led to her being kidnapped by human traffickers and taken to a small mountain village. Surrounded by endless mountains, she couldn't escape no matter what, just as she thought her whole life would rot there. A boy named Chen Zhaote saved her. He led her down a path she had never seen and stuffed a few hard mantu into her hands. "Run from here, and you'll be out by tomorrow afternoon." Ji Yuran grabbed him. "Then let's go together. If they find out you let me go, they'll beat you to death." Chen Zhaokai shook his head. "I can't go. If I go, I have to take my mom. But her legs were broken and she can't walk." He was silent for a while. "Auntie, once you're out, please call the police for me. My mom was kidnapped here." After Ji Yuran escaped, she fell seriously ill. When she woke up, she had forgotten the location of that small village, only remembering those stubborn eyes and the large scar on his right ankle, and his name, Chen Zhaokai. She had been looking for him all these years. The assistant shook his head. "CEO Shen, there are too many boys in the country with that name. We are still filtering." Ji Yuran suppressed the disappointment in her heart and waved her hand. "Go and get busy." A few days later, Song Hao took me to a nearby tavern for a drink. During that time, they brushed off a few women who came to flirt. The person I met at the signing a few days ago was incredibly beautiful, but her aura was too terrifying. She looked so intimidating. I didn't dare ask for her personal contact info. Song Hao sighed in regret. Why was I such a coward then? Too bad. Who knows when I'll meet a super beauty of that level again? But in less than a second, he jumped up again. "The girl who just walked past is so cool. She's my type. I'll be right back." Shortly after he left, I felt the sofa beside me sink down. I thought it was Song Hao, so I habitually put my arm around his shoulder and asked lazily, "Why are you back so soon?" But upon leaning over, I realized this person was a stranger. I jumped up, knocking over drinks and wetting my coat. While frantically wiping my clothes, I apologized to the person beside me. "Sorry, I mistook you for someone else." Ji Yuran spoke calmly. "It's all right. That voice." I suddenly looked up. Ji Yuran. In an instant, a surge of fear shot from my spine to the top of my head. Why was she here? Did Su Wanqing know about my fake death? These questions flashed through my mind, but I didn't have time to think. Now my mind only had one word: run. But just as I turned, I was grabbed by the wrist by Ji Yuran behind me. "What are you running for? I'm not going to do anything to you." Ji Yuran still had a cold expression. "But you must return to the country with me to see Wanqing." I turned and glared at her. "Miss Ji Yu, where I go is my freedom. You have no right to interfere. Now please let go." Indeed, Ji Yuran did not let go but held on tighter. "But because of your fake death, Wanqing has been trying to commit suicide. After guessing you weren't dead, she's been searching the whole world for you. B. Between great grief and great joy, her mind is becoming unstable. Don't you think you should go back and see her to resolve this?" Hearing this, I was silent for a long time. "There is no need to meet again. We are already strangers." Ji Yuran frowned slightly. "Wanqing cheated during the marriage. That was her fault. You can divorce her instead of running away." "I am running away. But if there were a choice, who would want to give up everything and hide under a pseudonym? I chose this way not only to avenge her infidelity, but also to give her no chance to pester me again." I sighed. "You don't understand her at all. She won't divorce or let go. She will do something crazy. If you truly want what's best for her, don't tell her you've seen me." Ji Yuran was startled and instinctively loosened her grip. I took advantage of her momentary daze and ran out quickly. Song Hao and I bought tickets overnight and flew to another country. But on the second day after settling in, as soon as I pushed open the door, 2 rows of bodyguards were standing neatly at the entrance, watching Ji Yuran get out of a luxury car. I was helpless. "What exactly do you want?" "I came this time to discuss a deal. I hope you will stay within my sight. In exchange, I can open the core technologies of all the tech companies under my name to you." Over these past few days, she had investigated me in detail. She knew my love for technology. The conditions she offered were surely something I couldn't refuse. As long as I was willing to stay, she could slowly persuade me to agree to meet Su Wanqing. "Of course you can refuse. But wherever you go, I will send people to follow you. By comparison, agreeing is more worthwhile." I cursed profiteer in my mind, but out of helplessness, I agreed to her terms. Yu Yiran arranged a villa for me near the headquarters. This is close to the company, convenient for you to learn and visit. After she left, Song Hao knocked his head in frustration. Life is truly unpredictable. If I'd known she was Su Wanqing's aunt, I wouldn't have cooperated with her even if I had to give the products away for free. Sorry, Jingshen. It's not your fault, I sighed helplessly. The world is so big. Who knew it would be such a coincidence to run into a company under Yu Yiran's name? I settled in for the time being. During the day, I went to Yu Yiran's company to learn, and at night I returned to develop my own products. Every few days, Yu Yiran would come once, and each time was to persuade me to agree to meet Su Wanqing. One day, returning from the company, I saw Yu Yiran sitting in the living room again, and beside her stood an excited Su Wanqing. The moment she saw me, Su Wanqing's eyes turned red instantly, and tears fell. 7 full months, 214 days. She had thought about this even in her dreams, longing for a reunion. Having actually seen me, she didn't dare move. She was afraid it was a dream, and even more afraid to see the coldness and disgust in my eyes. Jingshen, she whispered submissively. I only looked at her once before moving my gaze away, casting a cold look at Yu Yiran. Yu Yiran, who dominated the business world and was always the one giving others looks, was receiving one for the first time. She coughed a bit awkwardly. I saw that your mood has stabilized a lot recently, so I notified Wanqing to come over. Cheating was her fault, but you are also in the wrong regarding the fake death. Now, I hope the two of you can have a calm talk. I sneered. Calm? Yu Yiran, if you got married in the future and your husband cheated and had 2 children with someone else, kept it from you for 2 whole years, and even repeatedly was intimate in the place where you first pledged your love, could you keep your calm and talk to him? Yu Yiran was left speechless by my retort, and Su Wanqing lowered her head with a pale face. Su Wanqing! I called her name. I faked my death because I didn't want anything more to do with you. But since you found out, I'll make it clear to you. There is no possibility between us. Don't harbor any delusions that through persistent pestering you can gain my forgiveness and reunite us. I was silent for a moment. That day when you and Chu Yunjo were in bed at the manor, I was standing outside the door and heard everything. I'll never forget it as long as I live. If you still have any lingering affection, don't appear in front of me. Because now seeing you makes me think of that day and makes me want to vomit. Su Wanqing looked like death itself. She rushed over and grabbed my hand, urgent and incoherent. It's my fault. You can punish me however you want. Even if you want to kill me to vent your anger, that's fine. But please don't leave me, Jingshen. Without you, I can't live. I pulled my hand away. What would I want with your life? As for how you live on, it has nothing to do with me. I suddenly laughed. Don't you and Chu Yunjo have a pair of children? Doesn't your whole family know about this and acknowledge him? You have children now. You can just live your life with him. Su Wanqing grabbed my hand again and explained hurriedly. I've broken it off with him. I'll never see him again. I beg you, give me a chance to make amends. She didn't care about anything anymore, even about to kneel and plead. I yanked her up. Do you not understand human language? I said there is no longer any possibility between us. Stop this meaningless pestering. I can't be without you. Su Wanqing was crying so hard she couldn't speak clearly. Yu Yiran couldn't help but sigh on the side. Although she was only 3 years older than Su Wanqing, she had watched her grow up. She had never seen her in such a wretched and undignified state. On my end, I was annoyed to death by Su Wanqing's constant crying and pleading. I steeled my heart, threw off Su Wanqing's hand, and grabbed Yu Yiran's face. Amid her shocked and sudden gaze, I gave her a solid kiss on the lips. Su Wanqing's crying was cut short by the shock. There's no chance for me and you because I've taken a liking to your aunt now. Yu Yiran's pupils constricted, and Su Wanqing's face was exceptionally pale. Jingshen, don't say such angry words. Why? You don't believe me? Your aunt is successful in her career and beautiful. Most importantly, she's clean. So what's so strange about me liking her? I smiled and was about to kiss Yu Yiran again. Yu Yiran's cold face finally cracked. Half in anger and half in panic, she took several large steps back. I slowly walked over and put my arm around her waist. At this moment, I was smiling, but I was annoyed to death with Ju Yiran. If it weren't for her, Su Wanqing might never have found me in her life, and my peaceful life wouldn't have been disturbed. Since she brought me such big trouble, I had to give her a little something back. I tilted my head and kissed her on the cheek. "Auntie, what perfume do you use? It smells so good." Ju Yiran was stunned. Having grown up this way, she had never been so close to a member of the opposite sex. She never dreamed that one day she would be forcibly kissed twice in a row by her niece's husband. She suddenly pushed me away, stammering for a long time without making any sense. A surge of frustration in her chest had nowhere to go, and finally, she turned her head and slammed the door as she left. I smiled and asked Su Wanqing, "Do I need to continue proving it to you?" Su Wanqing slumped to the ground, her face colorless. She knew me too well. Just by looking into my eyes, she knew what I was thinking. She knew I was intentionally angering her to make her lose hope. But seeing me kiss someone else, her heart still ached so much she could hardly breathe. Su Wanqing suddenly thought, when I first discovered her infidelity and saw those disgraceful videos of her and Chu Yunjo, did my heart hurt 10 million times more than hers did now? She closed her eyes, tears slipping from them. Having come to this point, she could blame no one. She had destroyed it all herself. The next day, I continued to go to Ju Yiran's headquarters to learn. In front of the elevator, I ran into Ju Yiran. Seeing me, Ju Yiran's face turned from green to white to red. A few seconds later, with a livid face, she walked toward the stairs. 20 minutes later, the assistant followed Ju Yiran, panting as they climbed to the top floor, unable to help but curse in their heart. Is the boss crazy? We have an elevator, but she insists on walking up over 20 floors. It's going to be the death of me. In the evening, I returned to the villa and found the house filled with the aroma of food. I thought it was Song Hao in the kitchen, but the next moment, Su Wanqing, wearing an apron and carrying a plate of food, came out. "You're back? Perfect, the food is ready. Wash up and let's eat." In the rising steam of the food, I couldn't help but be dazed for a moment. This scene had appeared countless times over the past 3 years. No matter how busy she was, Su Wanqing would always force me to finish work early and go home to cook. After I opened the door, it was always the overwhelming aroma of food followed by a hug from Su Wanqing. That kind of scene used to be my definition of happiness. But after so much had happened, everything had changed. I picked up the dish on the table and dumped it into the trash. I made it very clear yesterday. Don't do these useless things. Su Wanqing's face turned visibly pale, and her smile froze. But a few seconds later, she smiled again. "These dishes don't suit your taste? I'll make more." My face was cold and impatient. "Su Wanqing, do you need me to repeat those words from yesterday? You can say it as many times as you want." She took the empty plate and walked into the kitchen, calm yet resolute. "But I won't stop, I won't leave you, and I won't give up. So from today on, I will stay here to take care of you, until you're willing to forgive, or until I die first." Quote, "You want to stay here, right? Fine, I'm leaving." Just as I took a step, Su Wanqing spoke calmly. "Your friend, Song Hao, as well as your good friends and mentors back home, if you disappear from my life again, I will make it so they have no place to stand anywhere." My body stiffened abruptly. "Su Wanqing, don't you think you're shameless? I don't want to be like this." Su Wanqing was skillfully cutting vegetables, but for once, she cut her finger. She stared at the bleeding finger for a while before saying, "But this is the most effective way, isn't it?" I didn't answer her. The large villa fell into a dead silence. She soon remade the food and brought it up, but I had no appetite and didn't want to see her, so I went straight upstairs to sleep. Su Wanqing brought the food up. "Are you tired? Eat something before sleeping." I pulled the covers over my head. "Get out!" "Fine. Whenever you're hungry, I'll make it again." Su Wanqing took the food back down, then came back up and lay on the bed. She hugged me from behind, her left hand tightly gripping my waist. "What are you doing? Let go!" I struggled. "Don't move, hubby. Let me hold you for a bit." She held me firmly, her head leaning on my back, letting out a satisfied sigh. After more than 7 months, she finally embraced her beloved again. At this moment, her hovering soul finally returned to her body. This sense of groundedness, which she hadn't felt in a long time, made her eyes turn red. She said softly, "Jingshan, I missed you. I really did. I suddenly felt very sad. Her love was real, but if she loved me so much, why did she cheat? Why destroy a relationship that the two of us had built for so many years? If you knew it would end like this, why do it in the first place? One King? I can't forget about your cheating, and I can't forgive it. It's impossible for us. What's the point of you being like this? Let's part ways on good terms. Su Wanqing didn't speak, just held me tighter. When the moon rose, she let go. I know you don't want to see me. I'll go sleep in the guest room. She leaned down, wanting to give me a kiss as she used to, but in the end, she straightened her body. Good night. She left, but I was sleepless all night. I only fell asleep as the sky was turning pale. Near noon, a phone ring woke me up. Why didn't you come to the company today? I processed for a moment before realizing the call was from Chu Yunjo. I wasn't in a good mood. What does it matter to you whether I go or not? Do I need to report to you? Are you that bored? Chu Yunjo was unexpectedly snapped at. Just as she was about to say something, the call was hung up. Looking at the red, call disconnected screen on her phone, Chu Yunjo suddenly laughed at herself in anger. Was she out of her mind today? Whether he came or not, what did it have to do with her? Why did she even call to check in, only to get scolded for no reason? Woken up, I couldn't sleep anymore. I washed up and went downstairs. Su Wanqing had already prepared lunch and was waiting. Seeing me put on my coat to go out, Su Wanqing stood up from the table and asked cautiously, Jingshen, the food is ready. Won't you eat at home? Looking at you makes me lose my appetite. If I eat at home, I'll starve to death one day. Su Wanqing lowered her head. Then come back early tonight. The response she got was a heavy slam of the door. Su Wanqing knew I had resentment and anger toward her, but they had so many years of history. Once I had vented my anger and calmed down, she believed the relationship could be salvaged. It's just that the waiting period would be very agonizing. She laughed bitterly. No matter how agonizing, I brought it on myself. I left the villa with no appetite for lunch either, feeling only irritable. I used to be confused seeing Song Hao break up and make up with his girlfriend. If you don't love anymore, separate. If you do, be together. Why keep entangling with the same woman? Now I understand. Love has momentum. Even after deciding to give up, that momentum still tears at the heart, bringing continuous pain. In a state of agitation, I went to the largest club here and ordered over a dozen bar hostesses. One girl took a sip of alcohol, wanting to pass it to me mouth to mouth. I didn't refuse either. Just as the two were about to get close, the door was kicked open with a bang. The girl was pushed away by a hand. Chu Yunjo's face was as cold as ice. She scanned the women coldly. Everyone out! She looked at me again. Do you know what you're doing? I leaned on the sofa, drinking. I know, but what does it have to do with you? These people were paid for by me. You have no right to tell them to leave. The one who should leave is you. Don't disturb my fun. Just as the two said a few words, Su Wanqing, having received the news, rushed over. Her gaze swept over the crowd of women in the suite, her eyes showing a cold, killing intent. But the next second, she said to me pleadingly, Hubby, come home with me, okay? These people are very dirty. I gave a scoff. They're dirty? And what, are you very clean? Su Wanqing's face turned pale as she froze in place. I know you sent people to monitor me, that's why you got the news so quickly. But let me tell you, if you can keep pretty boys, why can't I find women? Next time, don't run over here and interrupt my mood. It's really a buzzkill. Think about it with your conscience. Even when I already knew about you and Chu Yunjo, didn't I pretend not to know and let you go enjoy yourself? When was I ever like you? Su Wanqing's face had turned deathly pale. My cold, mocking gaze turned to Chu Yunjo. Auntie, aren't you leaving yet? Even my legal wife doesn't have the right to care about me finding women. What are you to point fingers at my behavior? If you're too bored, I suggest you drink more water. Fine, both of you out now. Close the door on your way out. Su Wanqing knew she was in the wrong and had no ground to control him. But how could she leave and let me have fun with other women here? Just thinking about it made her feel like she was going to explode. On the other hand, Chu Yunjo's chest was heaving. She was angry at my disrespect. and even angrier at whether she had gone mad. She originally came here to talk business, but seeing him about to kiss someone else, she had rushed in without thinking. Why did she care? While the atmosphere was at a stalemate, a man suddenly rushed in. As soon as he entered, he hugged Su Wanqing. Wanqing, how can you be so cruel? You don't even care whether the two children live or die. That voice was all too familiar. It was Chu Yunjo. Since the last time he was nearly choked to death by Su Wanqing, the two had completely become enemies. Su Wanqing directly froze Chu Yunjo's cards and took back the 26 companies, 5 manors, 6 villas, and various properties she had established for him. She also demanded the return of all the cars and expensive watches she had given him. Overnight, Chu Yunjo became a debt-ridden pauper. He couldn't accept this fact and went to Su Wanqing's parents, begging them to help him. Su Wanqing didn't care about the two children at all, and now the children could barely survive with him. Su's parents, feeling sorry for their granddaughter and grandson, immediately called their daughter, wanting to reconcile the two. Wanqing, you said just a few days ago you'd treat Yunjo well. Why are you treating him like this now? That Lu Jingshen is already dead. Are you going to discard even the children for him? They're your own flesh and blood. At that time, Su Wanqing was frantic, searching for my whereabouts. Hearing her mother's words, she replied coldly, Mom, if you take in Chu Yunjo and those two children, we are cut off. If you still want me as your daughter, then make those 3 get lost. Su's mother initially thought it was just angry talk and kept Chu Yunjo at the old residence. To her surprise, the next day, Su Wanqing immediately released news to major media, saying she had cut ties with her parents and flew back to the country to handle the relevant paperwork. Su's mother was so scared she had a heart attack. After recovering, she kicked Chu Yunjo out overnight and never dared to help him again. Grandchildren are important, but their daughter was their heart's blood. Chu Yunjo completely lost his support and was living in poverty. This time, he finally found out about Su Wanqing's whereabouts and immediately scraped together travel expenses to come meet her. He believed that as long as he pleaded with her, even if she couldn't spend large sums on him as before, she would at least ensure his future life was worry-free. Otherwise, how would he live? He was used to a life of luxury and simply couldn't accept working. What difference was such a life from being dead? Wanqing, you can't be so heartless. Look at these two children. Look at how thin they've become. You are their mother. People say a mother's love is great. Do you not care at all? Our children can already call for their mother. The two children together called out, Mama. On the side, I burst out laughing. This scene was just too absurd. Su Wanqing's face was already livid. She called security to drag Chu Yunjo out, but he held her tightly and refused to let go, yelling that children can't be without a mother. A single day as husband and wife brings 100 days of grace. For the sake of all those nights in the past, you can't be so heartless. Ji Yuran was angry just watching this scene. She instinctively looked at me, but I was watching with great interest, even leisurely peeling some fruit to eat. In fact, though Ji Yuran had been abroad these years, she had heard about the love between Su Wanqing and me and even seen videos of us as a couple. At that time, my gaze towards Su Wanqing was full of obvious love. I would even get jealous because she looked at another boy. Unlike now, where my eyes were full of indifference and coldness, looking at her like a stranger. How many times must one be disappointed to become like a completely different person? She lowered her head, feeling a rare bit of guilt. Did she do the wrong thing by telling Su Wanqing about my whereabouts? Chu Yunjo pestered for a long time but was eventually carried out by security. He wailed all the way out. Su Wanqing looked at me guiltily. Jingshen, don't say a word. I stood up and walked out of the suite. Now, even hearing you speak makes me sick. Su Wanqing was filled with panic and despair, her expression looking much like Chu Yunjo's when he was dragged away. That night, I didn't go home. Su Wanqing finally found me by the river. It's cold here. Let's go home. Home? There is no home between me and you. I looked at the moonlight on the river. Su Wanqing, I'm begging you, leave. For this love, I nearly lost half my life. What more do you want? Do I have to die before you'll let me go? Su Wanqing's eyes turned red instantly, her lips trembling. Jingshan! Su Wanqing, give me a way to live. If I have to face you for the rest of my life, I'd rather jump from here. It'd be a cleaner death. I'm sorry. Su Wanqing rushed over and hugged me, crying out loud. It's all my fault. But I can't let you go. I can't be without you. I looked at her. After a long time, I sneered and pushed her away. You say you love me, but it turns out you only think of yourself. I turned to leave, but suddenly received a call from Song Hao. Jingshen, I have something to tell you. Your old SIM card was canceled, so the hospital couldn't find you and called me. Your birth mother. She's critically ill. She wants to see you one last time. I froze in place. Even knowing that back home was Su Wanqing's territory, and once I returned, it would be hard to escape again. I still immediately flew back overnight. Su Wanqing and Jiyu Yuran both accompanied me back. My mother and I hadn't seen each other for over 10 years. My memory of her was still from childhood. Always getting beaten and never having enough to eat, like a walking skeleton wrapped in dry human skin. Now, standing outside the hospital room, I didn't dare push the door open. Jingshen, let me go in with you. Su Wanqing gently took my hand. Get lost! I pushed her away. You stay outside, don't you dare come in. I opened the door and went in. Hearing my footsteps approach, my mother struggled to open her eyes. You're here. Actually, there's nothing special I wanted to see you for. I just wanted to say thank you. I stared at her blankly. From the beginning, I didn't need my mother's thanks. I wanted you to be free. You don't need to thank me. Saving you was also saving myself. The hospital door was pushed open again. It was my mother's current husband and daughter coming to see her. In the small room, I was pushed into a corner with no place to stand. With my mother, I had never had a place. I turned to walk out of the room. My mother called out to me loudly. Zhao Kai, I'm sorry. I've been taking my anger out on you all these years and haven't treated you well. My footsteps paused for a moment. There's no need to say sorry. I could understand her pain. Only by completely cutting herself off could she bid farewell to those painful memories and start a new life. Outside, Jiyu Yuran was staring at me in disbelief. What did that old lady just call him? Zhao Kai? Su Wanqing sighed. It's Chen Zhao Kai. That was his old name. His mother's last name is Liu, so he took this new name for himself. Jiyu Yuran suddenly grabbed his shoulder. Is there a large scar on his right ankle? How did you know? Jiyu Yuran recoiled several steps, slumping into a chair outside. The savior she had been looking for so many years was actually right. In front of her! She had imagined so many times after finding that boy that she would give him all the best things in the world and fulfill all his wishes. But now, not only had she given him nothing, she had done things that made him hate her. A few days later, my mother passed away. I didn't shed a single tear at the funeral, but on the way back, I suddenly asked for the car to stop, running to the roadside and crying uncontrollably. Jiyu Yuran got out of the car and was about to comfort him when Su Wanqing blocked her hand. She felt that Jiyu Yuran was a bit too concerned about her husband. With Jingshen's mother being seriously ill, it was normal for her as a wife to come back. Jiyu Yuran, a relative who was barely connected, actually gave up several large business deals to follow them back home. Su Wanqing couldn't help but suspect she had some unspeakable feelings for me. At this moment, she looked at Jiyu Yuran coldly and with hostility. I will take care of my husband myself, no need to trouble you, Auntie. She turned around, wanting to hug me, but was pushed away. Get away from me, I cried out in a breakdown. Just take pity on me, Su Wanqing. Don't show up in front of me today and disgust me anymore. Su Wanqing's hand froze in midair. She felt a sharp pain in her heart. To me, was she already such an unbearable and disgusting existence? Did she really have no chance of winning me back? She turned and walked away with a heavy step. For the next few days, I still refused to see her, and she tactfully didn't show up again. But the place where I stayed was surrounded by her people 3 layers deep. After being under house arrest by Su Wanqing for half a month, she finally appeared again late at night. She sat by the bed, lightly stroking my cheek. You've lost so much weight this past half month. I coldly knocked her hand away. How long do you plan to keep me like this? A lifetime? Su Wanqing laughed and leaned down to hug me. I've already arranged everything outside. From now on, I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay here with you, and you must stay with me. I know you value loyalty and affection most. If you leave me, I'll make everyone you care about wish they were dead. I sneered. You're truly mad. I'm not mad. Su Wanqing hugged me tightly. But if you leave again, I definitely will be. The next day, she had someone bring in hundreds of suits and wedding dresses, wanting to take anniversary wedding photos for our 3rd year in groups. The lighting crew was all in place. Just as the photographer was about to press the shutter, I suddenly grabbed a cake from the table and smashed it all over Su Wanqing. Go to hell! Who wants to take these with you? Su Wanqing calmly wiped the cream off her body. There are many more candidate dresses, and many more cakes. If you haven't had your fill, you can keep smashing them. That day, I smashed them on her over a dozen times. The last time, Su Wanqing frowned slightly and gripped my hand tightly. Jingshen, let's take the photos first, okay? After that, you can hit me as you like. I smiled slightly and smashed the cake directly into her face. No! The wedding photos didn't get taken that day. The cake had plum jam in it, which I loved, but Su Wanqing was severely allergic to it and fainted immediately. As soon as she woke up that night, she hurried to cook for me, but I didn't appreciate it. When she got into bed after her shower that night, I pushed her out. You're not allowed to sleep with me. Dirty! Su Wanqing laughed. I've showered. I laughed too. I wasn't talking about that kind of dirty. I mean, you've slept with Chu Yunjo so many times. It's dirty. Su Wanqing's breath hitched. She didn't get back in bed, but took some bedding and slept on the floor. The next day, Su Wanqing was woken early by a call from the butler. Fearing she'd wake me, she tiptoed out of the bedroom. What is it? Miss, CEOGU is at the door, saying she wants to see you. Su Wanqing came to the manor gates and saw Gu Yiran standing outside. She smiled. The butler mentioned Auntie has come 6 times in this half-month. Is something wrong? Gu Yiran stared into her eyes. I'm here to visit Lu Jingshen. His phone has been off. Wanqing, have you locked him up? Even if you're a couple, doing this is illegal. Su Wanqing sneered. Auntie, you also know we're a couple. As an elder, aren't you paying a bit too much attention to Jingshen? She took a few steps closer and spoke in a low voice. Even if Jingshen kissed you, it doesn't mean anything. He only did it to spite me. Don't tell me you actually think he likes you. Gu Yiran froze. Auntie, don't come back if there's nothing, and don't come back even if there is. You're not welcome here. On the way back to the room, the thought of someone else coveting me made her heart feel as if it were being consumed by the flames of jealousy. No, staying here was too unsafe. She wanted to take me to the newly bought island. She immediately instructed her assistant to arrange it. Over the next few days, she was busy with this. The day before preparations were complete, her assistant called saying Chu Yunjo had come to the company to cause a scene. He was standing on the rooftop with the 2 children, saying if he didn't see her, he'd jump. Su Wanqing hurried to the company with a somber face. Shortly after she left, Gu Yiran broke into the manor with her people. When Gu Yiran found me, I was standing by the balcony. She stood beside me in silence for a while until my impatient gaze swept over. What are you here for? She summoned the courage to speak. Do you remember when you were a child saving a kidnapped girl? For all these years, Gu Yiran had been the one taking care of others. The boy in her memory was the only one who had ever taken care of her. He was very special to her, but Gu Yiran couldn't say exactly what that feeling was. I was frozen in place by her words. It's me. Gu Yiran's eyes were bright. You still remember me? I gave a cold laugh. Of course I remember you. You faithless liar. Back then, she had clearly promised to call the police for him after she ran out. At that time, a young me told my mother the news. My mother rarely showed a smile to me, asking incessantly like a child. Really? You're not lying to me, are you? Of course not, she promised. I guaranteed, puffing out my chest. But they waited and waited. A month passed, a year passed, several years passed, and no police ever came to rescue them. My mother grew to resent me for it, feeling I was a liar just like my birth father. In the years following, I never saw my mother smile again. Gu Yiran explained hurriedly. I called the police then, but I fell seriously ill, and when I woke up, I couldn't remember the specific location of that village. I've been looking for you all these years. I walked away with a cold laugh. It doesn't matter anymore, but I really regret it now. I shouldn't have saved you then. I should have let you rot there. Otherwise, my relationship with my mother wouldn't have been so bad, and I wouldn't have to face this disgusting person Su Wanqing now. Gu Yiran was frozen in place, her heart tightening, and a fine sting coming from her limbs. Wait! She stopped me. Lu Jingshen, I'm sorry, I can't change what's already happened, but I can make amends. If you don't want to stay, I'll send you away right now. I stopped. Su Wanqing is threatening me with my friends. After I leave, can you guarantee their safety? Jiyu Yiran immediately promised. No problem. I was silent for a moment. I'll believe you one last time, because I have no other choice now. On the other side, Su Wanqing arrived at the company rooftop, looking at Chu Yunjo standing outside the railing. Her eyes were full of coldness. You still dare appear before me? If you hadn't suddenly appeared abroad last time, things between him and me wouldn't have come to this. Chu Yunjo looked at her pleadingly. Wanqing, we still have 2 children. Do you really not want me anymore? Actually, after experiencing so much, he already understood that this woman was cold-blooded and unreliable. But he had grown up in luxury and was later kept by Su Wanqing. Aside from spending money, he had no survival skills, not to mention having 2 children with him. He had no choice now but to beg Su Wanqing. Su Wanqing sneered. If it weren't for your meddling, how would Jingshen and I have come to this point? I wish I could kill you. As for these 2 children, they were just born through a surrogate. I don't care whether you live or die. Her casual and disgusted words shattered Chu Yunjo's last shred of hope. He slumped to the ground, his eyes full of despair. He had no hope of living. Under extreme despair, an unprecedented rage grew in Chu Yunjo's chest. Was it me who caused your relationship to break? If your love was truly that steadfast, could I have seduced you into my bed time and again? Now you want to push all the responsibility onto me? Flies don't swarm an uncracked egg. You're a piece of trash yourself. That's why you got involved with me. Su Wanqing laughed and took one last look at him as if watching a monkey show. Before leaving the rooftop, Su Wanqing heard Chu Yunjo's desperate roar. Su Wanqing, I curse you to never get what you want. May you die a horrible death. Su Wanqing scoffed, but as she walked out of the company building, several dark shadows fell rapidly before her, like watermelons falling from a shelf. Skin and bones shattered with a dull thud, and the contents splattered everywhere. Bright red blood and white matter splashed onto her face at the same time. Su Wanqing was stunned for a few seconds. After clearly seeing these shattered corpses, her face turned white. At this moment, she couldn't say whether she felt more terror or shock. Someone had died here. She was taken to the police station for a statement. When she returned home late at night, she found the bodyguards in the villa were all tied up, and the surveillance was completely destroyed. And I was long gone. She was nearly driven mad, shaking the unconscious butler and screaming, asking what happened. The butler was forcibly awakened. Miss, it was your aunt. She brought people and took Sir away. Jiyu Yiran! Su Wanqing hissed these words through her teeth. At this moment, she truly wished she could tear this aunt apart and eat her. She immediately ordered a lockdown on all transportation in the city, but it was too late. At this moment, I was already on a private jet leaving the country. After a full day of flying, the plane landed in a small town abroad. Jiyu Yiran had already arranged a house and acquaintances here. I had been settled here for 5 days now. Everything has been handled. Why haven't you left yet? Jiyu Yiran froze. This was the 8th time I had told her to leave. Lu Jingshen, I want to wait until you're familiar with the surroundings before I go. I'm already very familiar with it, don't trouble yourself. I locked the door, preparing to go to a nearby restaurant for dinner. I'm grateful to you for helping me, but I saved you before too, so we're even now. Of course, if you need, I can treat you to a meal before you go. Jiyu Yiran lowered her head in disappointment. Do you hate me that much? I laughed. I thought I'd made it clear enough. Jiyu Yiran gave a bitter smile. I'll leave this afternoon. Then I wish you a safe journey. I lived in this small town for 3 years. During these 3 years, I developed several successful tech products and started my own company. However, because it wasn't convenient for me to show my face, all companies were under Song Hao's name. Every holiday, even knowing she wasn't welcome, she would still come. Everyone could see she liked me, and I could see it too, but I had no interest in entering a relationship with an uncertain ending. I felt that being alone right now was very good, with no need for a companion. During the new year of the 3rd year, I seriously rejected Jiyu Yiran. And as the 4th new year approached, I heard news of Su Wanqing for the first time in a long while. But what I heard was news of her death. All these years, she had been frantically searching for me everywhere, but with Chu Yuran's obstruction, she couldn't find any information. Su Wanqing gradually became manic. A few years ago, she had even charged into Chu Yuran's office and nearly stabbed her to death. Aside from not being able to find me, she often couldn't sleep all night. As soon as she closed her eyes, Chu Yunjo and those two children appeared in her dreams every night. They were covered in blood, staring at her with eyes wide and speechless. No one knew whether this was retribution or her conscience feeling guilty. Over time, she developed severe depression. A few days ago, she jumped from the top floor of the company while holding our wedding photo. I returned to the country for her funeral. The priest read the suicide note Su Wanqing left behind. It was very short. At the moment of the infidelity, I thought I was just making a small and concealable mistake. But it turns out my whole life was ruined by myself from that moment on. I'm sorry. The person from the past is gone, and the grudges have vanished. What I think of now is the 18-year-old Su Wanqing standing before him with a flushed face. "Hello, classmate. Can we exchange contact info?" At that time, the sunlight shone perfectly on her face. Just like now, the light rests on her coffin.